I'd like to invite on stage our first speaker for today, Arjun Awardee and Olympic swimmer Rehan Poncha.
A very good afternoon to everyone present here. First of all, I'd like to thank the people responsible for inviting me here for this event. I'm a swimmer, that's what I know best, and speaking to you all, putting together PowerPoint presentations is not really my forte. Just a short introduction, I'm 24. Like Ma'am said here, I'm an Arjun Awardee, an Olympian, and I swim for my country. Thank you. So any lapses, any mediocrity you might find with the PowerPoint or my talk today must be excused. Like the slide says, that's me. I just like to explain the photos. That's me in the full body suit that everybody knows as the NASA race suit that we were using last year. It's been banned this year now because swimmers were swimming too fast and swimmers were breaking world records in them. And that's me at one of the national games where I won my first gold in 2007. Success. What according to you all is success? For me, there are probably two definitions. One is the general definition, that's overcoming failure. And the other is, in my book, success can be defined in one word, and that's perseverance. And I find no other person who embodies the word perseverance better than Mr. Prakash Karekar. I could give you all success stories of well-known individuals, and this would just be the done thing, what would be expected of me. But like I said, Mr. Prakash Karekar, I'll just tell you all a little bit about him. He works today as a clerk with the Mumbai City Railway Commissionerate with a monthly salary of 14,000 rupees. He appeared for his 10th standard SSC examination in Mumbai in 1977 and ended up finally passing the exam in 2003. That's 44 years basically. 44 years it took him to achieve this dream he set out for himself. He wanted to pass his 10th standard examination. Success, like we all say, is relative. For me, it may be going up and representing my country at the Olympics and maybe winning a gold medal one day. For this man, it was clearing a 10th standard exam. His mother stood by his side through it all, never ridiculing him, just probably totally fed up of what her son kept doing again and again and again, and failing 44 times without fail every single time. And in 2003, he finally passed the exam. And this story may or may not be appealing to most of you here, but perseverance is what I personally base my career on. I am swimming against swimmers 1.5 times my size who are probably doubly as talented as I am. And I'm racing against people who have better facilities, better infrastructure, may not necessarily be better coaches, but I'm still racing against the world. I'm racing against kids who are 7-8 seconds faster than me. And if perseverance doesn't get me to my goals, then nothing will. So like I said, I wouldn't have found a better example to give you than this man. Moving on to a success story, in my book, not as big as this man's, is my personal success story. A little bit about myself. I started swimming at the age of 7 through default. I was born premature and a really, really sick child. I used to get regular bronchitis, coughs, colds, and the doctors advised my parents to get me to the water and start me swimming. And I've been a very competitive kid, and I'd like to tell you all that I have an extremely big ego. I just hate to lose. I'm sure nobody likes to lose, but at 7, I entered for my first race, and I was placed second last. And I was probably the most disturbed person on the planet at the age of 7. And I went back and told my dad that no matter what, I'm going to keep trying till I win a race. And that's how I started training. And I won the next race I participated in. I was second, and then, like we say, the rest is history. Just one part of my career that's really made an impact, I've learned so much from, is 2008 when I was trying to qualify, make it for the Olympics. It's every sportsman's dream to make it big, to stand up on the blocks representing his country in the biggest sporting extravaganza, the Olympics. And my dream was no different. And in 2008, in January, I started preparing for the Olympics, and we have in our FINA, which is our World Swimming Body, sets qualifying times for us. And we have to achieve those times, we have to go well beyond our personal bests. So I had about 8 months to drop 3 seconds, and I put my head down and I worked towards it, and I finally made it to the Olympics on the 4th of July. That day is so clear in my head. And I celebrated, thank you. And me and my family, my parents celebrated like I had won an Olympic medal. So when going back to saying success is relative, Michael Phelps may be disappointed if he doesn't break a world record or win his 7th gold medal. But for me, qualifying, making it to Olympics and realizing not only my dreams, but so many people who were supporting me all these years, their dreams as well, that to me was success. Of course, I've moved on from them, and now just qualifying at Olympics is not going to keep me satisfied. I want to do better. I want to make top 16 and so on. So I just wanted to make the point clear where, like I said, success is relative for everybody. I think that's the best example. And the negative part of making it to Beijing was that 8 months out of my preparation, I'm a middle distance swimmer, so I swim the 200, the 400 medley and other events. So I was wavering in my decision of what event I should choose to try and qualify for. And I probably wasted 4 or 5 months just messing around between one event and the other. So the point I'd like to bring out here is that when everybody in this room, I'm sure, has goals and dreams. So when you set a goal for yourself, when you decide I want to do something, just make a decision and stick by it. Like I said, I wasted 3 or 4 months messing around, shifting between 1 and 2 events. And I probably would have done much better in that one event I qualified for if I had just focused on it. And ending my little story, I think I would be doing injustice if I didn't mention that though swimming is a single sport, it's not a team sport. Swimming in India today requires a lot more than just an individual's effort. And when we speak of sacrifices, of course there are great stories of great sacrifices, but personally, I went as a 12-year-old, I grew up in Bombay, so I went to my dad and I told him, give me a better chance to perform, give me a better pool to train in. So he shut down business that day, got a train to Bangalore, checked out the best swimming pools in Bangalore, rented apartments, came back, and in 1 week, my dad, my mom and me were all in Bangalore, living here and training here just for my swimming. My dad, he shut down business. He came to Bangalore, like we said, jobless. He came to Bangalore totally jobless just to make me realize my dreams. And I don't think I would be standing here today speaking to an audience. I'm not sure if I'm doing too well, but I wouldn't be in this position today if it was not for backing and for my parents' support. Like the slide says, it's chasing your dreams, and I feel this is how I would like to share about how I go about it. One is benchmarking, which is really important, how you benchmark yourself against your competition and also against yourself. And the other one is, like I said, competition. What drives us to do well? For me, it's ego, and I think for most of you all, it's ego as well. It's that poking thing inside you that keeps on driving you to do better and better and better every day, to set goals that are better than what you expected, to set goals every year that are better and better. I do it in 2 ways. One is I set short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals are, for example, improvement in time, or winning a national medal, or just getting better, improving my stroke, my technique. And these short-term goals are like tiny steps on a ladder to your eventual goal, which is success. And that would be your long-term goal, like for example, winning internationally or hitting that job promotion that you all wanted. India's sporting future and its drawbacks. You cannot have a future without drawbacks, but there are several ways that I think that, I could go on for hours on how we need to get certain things right in our system to have more Olympic medalists and not just coming back with one from Beijing. Also drawbacks, like I said, comes hand in hand with our sporting future. Today, I speak from experience because I've been in a competitive sport now for 16 years. And today our sportsmen in India are not fighting against teams or individuals abroad. We are fighting against fully set up systems that are successful for years and years. When a reporter comes to me and asks me before a big meet that 1 billion of us, why can't we have a Michael Phelps in India, or why can't we have a Sachin Tendulkar in swimming? My answer is simple. It's not, you're not fighting against, like I said, first of all, you're fighting against systems abroad, but the simple answer is we are not 1 billion of us who can afford a sport like swimming. Swimming is not a cheap sport, and I'm sure there are several sports that require money and backing. And how many people over here in this room, and for that matter, have the financial assistance, the financial backup to chase their dreams, to realize their dreams? And the same goes for swimming. There are about 500 kids nationally who are in the position I am today, where I am lucky enough to say, fine, I can pursue my dreams, I can afford to chase my dreams, but not too many of us are there. So it's not like we're looking at 1 billion of us, we're looking at 500 kids. And when you have 500 kids, what are the chances of having a Michael Phelps? Today I might not necessarily be the most talented swimmer India has to offer, but I have the resources to pursue my dreams. Going back to fully fledged systems, I speak of universities. Today in India, there is absolutely no connection between a university and sport. Abroad, if a guy is talented, if an athlete is talented, he uses that talent as leverage to do well, and he gets scholarships into universities, which then support him academically and also for his sport. And that's why I put together this slide. This is a men's US football team, and this is a world champion today, Mary Kom, who's a boxer. She is a several times a world champion. She's a mother of two, and she's been battling so many odds to make it to this level. And how many of us today have heard of her? How many of us know that she doesn't have half the financial support that a regular college team, a Monday night, like we say Monday night football, a regular college team has in the US. These big guys, they're big, they're strong, they're talented, and they get picked up into universities, and then they're supported for their studies as well. But here in India, we've got absolutely no connection, like I said, between a sport and a university. And I think that's the system we need to change. So if we, so when we say why not more Olympic medalists, why not more gold medalists, you don't start with targeting the individual or the sportsman, you target the system. You try to make a change in the system. What lies ahead? Like I said, we have our Sachins, we have our Sainas, we have Gagan Narang, and we probably have 10 or 12 sportsmen who are recognized abroad. But is that really what we want? Is that what India's sporting future is all about? And like it says on the board, corporate money. Today, how many sportsmen other than the ones I mentioned are backed with financial support? Yes, obviously we don't, like I said, we don't have support from our universities. So where else do we look? About a month ago, I was asked by a journalist that what's in store for Rehan after he's done swimming. Now I plan to swim till 28. I want to go beyond London, but what's in store for him after that? And my answer was that I want to give back to my sport. If Indian swimming has done so much for me today, standing up on stage, talking to you guys, an Arjun Award and so on, I want to do something for my sport, give back to my sport and my country. Otherwise, what's the point of it all? And I feel that it's a simple way of looking at it is a person from an IBM or a Tata, he may not be interested in supporting a kid for racing abroad. But when if my dream is to have, say, about 5,000 swimmers eventually, and helping them realize their dreams, and out of those 5,000, if 500 of them can be national medalists and make it to a meet and wear corporate colors, that would probably be more appealing to a corporate sponsor. Moving on to corporates, you all may ask, what's in it for me? Why would we want to fund a sport? In any business today, what are you all doing? It's a gamble. When you're investing money into a business, when you're investing something into a new venture, it's a gamble. You're gambling when you're investing in a sportsman's career. Today, honestly, I have zero support from any corporate. I don't have a sponsor. The only sponsor I have is Arena, which is only supports my kit and my swim kit. And like me, there are so many others in different sports, who have achieved so much more, but they don't have any financial backing as well. So, like I said, it's for a corporation, for a sponsor, it's a regular investment for you. And it comes down to perception at the end of the day. Are you all only interested in your own personal gains, or do you all really want to invest in something for the betterment of a sport? And when I say invest, you're not really investing only in a sportsman, you're investing in his confidence. But to elaborate on that, I'd like to bring about my own example. Today, if, for example, a coffee day chain or a brand comes up to me and says, we want to invest in your future, we want to make sure that you get the best facilities to go and train abroad or to train in India with the best infrastructure and win abroad internationally. That does so much more for my confidence that somebody believes in me. And another simpler example, yesterday I had a kid walk up to me and with a book and said, can I have your autograph? Now a simple thing like that boosts your morale, boosts your self-esteem so much. You have no idea. It does so much for your self-esteem, and that would bring about like a week of good training sessions that somebody else believes in me, somebody else wants me to do well. So it's the same thing where you have a big brand who's supporting an individual to help him realize his dreams. And an example I would like to give you all is the PSPB, that's the Petroleum Sports Promotion Board. Two athletes who have benefited a lot from this are Poncha and Rajpal Singh, who's our hockey captain. So what they do is basically they offer scholarships to deserving youngsters, and they also provide job security. And if a company is going to invest in your future, when you have Pankaj Advani at the end of 10 years, or you have a Sachin, then where's your risk factor? Obviously, there's a risk factor with everything, but then your investment is going to be doubled because you're going to be having Sachin carrying or Saina carrying your your company color. So that's how I would look at it. Moving on to criticism and distractions. The photo I put up of Sania Mirza I have nothing negative to say about her. I mean, I wouldn't say anything negative about any struggling sportsman in this country. The reason I put her photo up is that she has managed her career and its speed breakers very, very well. A junior Wimbledon doubles title to her name and reaching round 3 of the Australian Open. And she's a worldly known face. She's a superstar. And it's because she's learned how to manage her career well. Managing your career involves criticisms and distraction. By that I mean that in our country especially, when you're doing well, you're built up into this godlike status, and when you fail, everybody just drops you. And criticism in itself is a distraction. I mean, before the Commonwealth Games, I had people calling me and saying, wow, how many goals are you going to get at the Commonwealth Games? And I'm not yet that good. I'm not yet world class. So once I came in 6th at Commonwealth or 6th at the Asian, then people just dropped me and people said, what's wrong? Well, why didn't you perform? So all these are distractions that I think everybody here faces as well. So you have to learn. If I can just teach you a little about that, you have to learn where you draw the line and you set up a wall and you only let positive seep through, and you do not worry about what people have to say to you and the negatives that you have to, what negative they have to say to you. You have to learn how to overcome, not listen to it, and even if it comes through that barrier, convert it into positives. This is what I try to do, and I hopefully I get better and better at it each year. Just to make it a little light, because I feel I've been a little monotonous, is like the slide says, I have my job. It's probably one of the most fun jobs in the world. The motto is you wear less. The less you wear, the faster you are and the quicker you are, and the better you are at it. That's Stephanie Rice in a lovely swimming costume, and I don't think that really happens back home in Bangalore, but abroad, I've been training in LA for the last 5 months, and that's how girls come into practice test. So I'm not really touching on that too much because I want the attention to be on me. Moving towards the last part of my talk. This is one thing that has stuck in my head. It was an ad I saw on YouTube. It was a Rolex ad where Roger Federer is walking out of the Wimbledon courts with his head down. You don't know whether he's won or lost. And this line is taken from the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. And it says that if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. And basically, the message they're trying to bring out here is, or I'm trying to convey, is that if you can handle success and failure and meet both with the same attitude, with the same aggression, and overcoming failure and learning how to manage your success and not let it go to your head, then at the end of it says, you will be a man, my son. So this is what was honestly clinical and rehearsed. I had to do that because I didn't want to make a total and complete fool of myself in front of the audience today. But here's the fun part, the last part of my speech, which is not rehearsed. And I've been lucky enough to go to several events and functions and speak. And I never prepare, I just say what comes from the heart. So just ending with my speech, I'd like to only say one thing. It's New Year and it's resolution time. And one resolution that I've stuck by is what my dad told me. In fact, he was driving me to practice and he said that this year your resolution should be, if you're on the blocks, every time you get up to go and race, make sure that you go with the attitude that you're going to win that race. Then what happens next is in your training's hands and in God's hands. So if you're going to go up there and decide that you're going to win before you started your battle, half your battle is already won. Thank you so much for having me here, speaking to you all. At 7, I jumped in the water and I felt like the weakest kid on the blocks. And I never thought that one day I would be speaking to you all, have a Facebook fan page up and coming and talking to you all and trying to share with you all some of my experiences. Thank you for having me here, and I hope I was okay. Thank you.